Welcome to the Mommillennials podcast, where we don't claim to have all the answers, just a willingness to figure it out. We're your hosts, Jocelyn
and Lauren, proud girl moms and best friends sharing our take on mommyhood. Whether you're changing a dirty diaper, stuck in traffic, or just have a minute to yourself,
we're so happy you're here. Hi, Mommillennials.
Hi, Mommillennials.
Today we're joined by our friend Katherin.
Hi, Mommillennials.
Katherin is an international board-certified lactation consultant, which is amazing. And she's a great friend of ours as well. Katherin helped Jocelyn and I on our breastfeeding journeys with all of our children. We could not have done it without her. So we are so lucky. We are so grateful for her. And so today we're talking about our breastfeeding journeys, what Katherin's role was in them, and then also what Katherin does to help moms on their feeding journeys, because it's not just breastfeeding, it's feeding in general. So we're really excited for Katherin to be here.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay.
Yes. So Katherin, I don't think I knew what a lactation consultant was, probably until I met you. And so I wonder how many people know about lactation consultants, but like, how did you become one? Like, how'd you land here?
I know, it's crazy. So I majored in public health in undergrad. So my first job right after undergrad was for the WIC program, right? Women, Infants, and Children. So we had IBCLCs there because one of the benefits that WIC participants get is breastfeeding support. So we had an IBCLC at our agency. And then I started going to the trainings so that I could help moms with breastfeeding or, feeding in general. And the breastfeeding coordinator at the state level was this amazing lady. And she would just draw me into it. She would talk about the benefits and how great it was. And I loved it. She was an IBCLC, of course. And then we had this great breastfeeding peer counselor at my clinic, and she was just so amazing. She taught me how to latch babies. And so I started doing it. I'm this 23-year-old. I've never done anything with breastfeeding. I don't have, I didn't have any children and stuff. So I started actually latching babies. And when I started doing that, it felt so good. It felt so rewarding to be helping the moms with breastfeeding. So I was like, I want to do this forever. I want to feel this forever. You know what I mean? So I decided to do all the coursework and all the training that I needed to become an IBCLC. So then I sat for the exam and I passed. So that's how I became an IBCLC.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And for this episode, I did some research. I come with statistics.
Stellar student.
Okay. Do you know the number of lactation consultants in the whole world?
No, I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No.
Board certified lactation consultants in the world.
No.
It is 38,150.
Dang, girl.
And
shout out to Katherin.
I know. Look at that.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
What's more interesting is that on the website that has all of the numbers in the world, it shows you every country that has the number of LCs there, right?
Because they're registered. Okay.
Yes. How many do you think El Salvador has? Take a guess, Jocelyn.
5.
I was going to say 5. Yeah.
I stole your number.
Should I tell you? It's 1.
No.
1?
1 in El Salvador.
Girl, she's probably pricey.
And then I looked it up for Venezuela, which is on my side. 1.
The whole
No
country?
way.
Yes, which is insane. Yassine's country, Algeria, has 2.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. And Paraguay, where my mom is from, has 5.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So the majority of the LCs in the world are in the U.S.
Right.
But I think it's just really eye-opening, right?
Yeah.
To see just how few LCs there are outside of the US. And also just thinking about the number of LCs there are in the US relative to the number of moms that need help, probably,
Relative
right?
to the babies that are born.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's obviously more than 30,000 babies, 40,000 babies born each year.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'm curious, like, what does a normal day look like for you working in a hospital, being in an LC? Like, what does that look like for you?
Oh my gosh.
Because you are in a hospital, right?
I'm a hospital IBCLC. I don't do any outpatient because that's a whole different
Ball game.
Yeah. So I decided to go to the hospital, and I would say a normal day for me, I can get pretty hectic sometimes. So if the floor is full is what we call it, you know, like there's a lot of parents and babies, I will have anywhere from 8, I would say average is like 8 to 10 couplets a day, which is a lot.
What's
is a
couplet?
A couplet is a parent and a baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
learned something new today.
Right. Sometimes, well, there's usually 3 of us, 3 IBCLCs. So we'll split it, right? So we'll have like about 8 each. I would say average is about 8 each day. And then I have to read their charts, read their history, see what the baby's doing, if the baby has been peeing and pooping and feeding, has the baby lost any weight, because they all lose weight in the beginning, right? And then we go to the rooms and we assist them with breastfeeding. So I'm in the rooms, in and out, having them call me back so that I can see a latch and I can assess a feeding. And yeah, I'm just trying to get them started doing their feeding journey, honestly.
Like, what's the most, how long is your shift? What's the most amount of moms you see in a day?
I would say my shift is 8 hours. And you see, like, it's like an hour per couplet, kind of. It depends. You know, there are some parents who are experienced, so they might need a little bit less help, but the first time parents, they need a little bit more help. So sometimes I spend a little bit more time with them, like an hour 15-ish, but it just depends on what the baby's doing, how sleepy the baby is. You know, these are fresh newborns, so they are very sleepy the first 24 hours. And it just depends, you know, if they've done a couple good feedings or if they're like, this is the first time they're latching. It just varies all the time.
Those first 24 hours of bliss.
Well, bliss and...
I mean, bliss and anxiety, right? But
Right.
bliss because they are so sleepy. Like, you have no idea what you're in for yet.
No, it's
like,
so lovely.
yeah.
It's so lovely.
They trick you. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so
for sure.
nice and calm the first 24 hours. And then cluster feeding starts, you know? So it's
I forget what you called it, Katherin, but you were basically trying to prepare me for night two terrors or something.
second night syndrome.
Second night syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when reality really hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts
I know.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with Layla, she was so nice and cuddly the first 24 hours. And then I was like, yeah, but second night syndrome's coming tonight. You know?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gosh, even for me, that feels like a fever dream. Layla, her second, like right now that you say that, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. She was like cluster feeding, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So for our listeners who aren't watching or can't tell, you're pregnant.
Yeah, I'm pregnant.
Yay. Baby is coming very
I
soon.
know. He's coming soon, hopefully.
Lauren and I are beyond excited.
We cried, bawled our eyes out when we found out to look together, right?
Yeah.
Jocelyn and I on our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we cried with Katherin.
Yeah. Yeah. So excited. Like, Katherin, you, for me, and I know for both of us, were such a huge part of our pregnancies, you know, our breastfeeding journeys, like just our motherhood journey so far, that like I say all the time, like, I don't think there's ever going to be a way for me to repay you. I'm going to try so hard. Like, it's going to be annoying now that you're a mom.
I'm sure
like,
I'll be texting you. I'm sure I'll be
please, all the time. But you know, I have been wondering, like, you work in a hospital, right? Like every single day, you must see such a wide variety of things. How do you feel like working in a hospital changed your perspective on birth, breastfeeding, babies? Like, do you feel like it would have been different if you had like a desk job?
I definitely think so. I feel like working in a hospital really puts things into perspective when it comes to pregnancy in general, right? I see how things can go, the things that can go really great, the things that can go not so great. So with my pregnancy, I feel like it's made me get into my head about it sometimes because, you know, you just never know until you have your baby in your arms. Anything can happen. So I do feel like it made me very cautious about even just announcing my pregnancy. You know, I wanted to tell my friends and stuff like that, but I kept pushing it off. I was like, let's wait till the first trimester is over. And then after the first trimester was over, I was like, let's just wait for the anatomy scan. You know what I
Let's
mean?
just
Like,
wait until he's born.
I feel like I've said this to, like, I think I said it to you guys. I was like, you guys might just not see me for a year and I'll just have a baby. I'll just pop up with a baby. But it made me...
That's such a millennial flex, by the way. It's like people just popping out with babies. It was like such a trend for a little while.
Right.
I don't know what people are...
definitely
I'm like,
did
are
that.
none of us pregnant right now? Like, I don't know what people... Did
Just
you
a
announce
hard launch.
on social media that you're pregnant?
No. I still... To this day, I haven't. I'm just going to hard launch him.
Yeah. So that was my plan, was to hard launch Aurora.
Yeah.
But then Lauren co-hosted the most beautiful baby shower.
Yeah.
You know, like the baby shower of my dreams. And I was like, the internet needs to see this.
There's no way that the internet
There's no
isn't
way.
seeing this.
Yeah, there's no way the internet isn't seeing this. And that's when people found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember that. So yeah, I think it makes you, working at a hospital makes me, at least from my experience, it makes me hyper vigilant, you know, because I almost know too much, right? Like I see too much, I know too much. People share their birth stories with me, their breastfeeding stories from before with me. So it makes it it has made it a little bit harder just to try to redirect my thoughts. And, you know, millennials, we overthink everything. And it doesn't help that I'm a Pisces. So, you know, I think that's the main thing when it comes to just putting things into perspective with like breastfeeding, labor, postpartum, and all of that.
I think it's so interesting that you're going to be in the position that you see other moms in all the time. I just had a thought. Are you going to need / like want an LC to come to your room?
One of your friends?
No, it's so
Or
funny.
you see them coming into and be like, nah, I'm good. I got this.
Thanks,
It's
bye.
funny that you asked that because one of my coworkers was like, are you gonna want me to come in here? And I was like, I don't know, because the main thing is that your baby decides what they want to do, right? So what if he is like, I'm not doing this, you know what I mean? Like, what if I do need help? So I have thought about that.
But you have a brain of knowledge to work through all
Do
that.
you talk to him about it?
Yeah, I'm like, you are the son of a lactation consultant. You better... No, I'm just
You
kidding.
better come correct.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you better at least know how to laugh. No, I'm kidding. But I'm like,
I love that.
we're gonna do a good job.
Yep.
You know, we're gonna figure this out.
Make me proud, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I think it's interesting hearing all this because it makes me think back to my experience in the hospital.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
And I feel like maybe Jocelyn and I had different experiences in the hospital. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, Katherin came to the hospital.
I forgot.
Yeah,
about that.
Katherin came. I had a C-section, so I was there for a few days. And I think you came. It was still her first 24 hours, but it was like the second day.
Okay, I think.
Because she was born in the morning.
Friday?
She was born a Friday morning and you came on Saturday.
Okay.
Because I had been FaceTiming you like at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Katherine's
Shout out
such
to
a
Katherin
real
not
one.
sleeping,
Oh my
man.
God.
Like, I remember I had her and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And you were like, just call me. I'll be awake. Don't worry. And so I was FaceTiming you and you were like, it looks fine. Like, you know, and you were like, why don't I just come? And I was like, we live pretty far from each other.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, it's okay. Like, you know, like, I don't want you driving this far. And then you were like, it's okay. I work out there sometimes to make me feel better. And then Katherin was like, girl, she don't work there no more. And I was like, okay, well, otherwise I probably would have said no. But you came and you helped me make sure she was latched. And then I don't know if you remember the LCs, the hospital LCs. So there was like an already certified one. And then there was one that was training.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was just the craziest experience. Like, because we had talked about a nipple shield, you and I, like we had talked about syringe feeding, and they were like so anti-syringe feeding.
So anti-nipple shield.
Oh yeah.
And anti-syringe feeding. They were like cup feeding Rora, and I was there for that.
Yes,
and
they
I
were cup
pretended
feeding her.
not to like.
We
say
said you were
it.
my cousin. Yeah.
And they were cup feeding Aurora, and I was like, okay.
I have the funniest pictures of Aurora being cup fed. She looks like a little monkey. Like her little mouth have got like all open, and they're just like, it was like a spoon and this like medicine cup.
so
It was like the weirdest, and it was so hectic.
It was hectic. They got you on the pump.
Can
It
you
was
imagine
so
not
hectic.
having Katherin there for that?
That was my point. Like without Katherin, I probably would have given up.
Aw.
I probably would have been like, this is overwhelming. Like, you know, like what, like too much. It was so hectic. They were all over the place. They like let the woman that was training take over, and she was nice, but she didn't know what she was doing.
I think everyone practices so different, and that's something to keep in mind too. Every lactation consultant practices very different, just based on their experience. I think, you know what I mean. So I feel like you had a different.
Yeah. Like
they didn't really help.
They didn't. And I don't know if subconsciously I was like, as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to go see Katherin, or I'm going to make Katherin come to me.
Right.
So I kind of wrote them off a little bit.
Okay.
But if I hadn't, like they were not great. I mean, they came in, and I don't know if it was because Mila was doing great. A lot of them were just like, oh, she's eating that, she's latching great. But it was kind of like you're good, I'm going to go now because you're good, versus like educating me on different positions.
Right.
Like making sure to look for XYZ for the latch, like the way that you really went into it.
Okay.
And I think it was right before I left the hospital, there was one that I had never met that came in, and she was the only one I feel that was more elaborate with her approach. But yeah, I mean, I was like, I cannot wait to see Katherin outside of here because and again, I was sending selfies to Katherin.
Yeah.
I don't think I was FaceTiming you, but
sending me videos.
And I was like, I think she's doing it right. But yeah, I think I was most relieved when I got out of the hospital and Katherin came to my house those first couple of days.
Yeah, that was so great.
Yeah.
And honestly, I am so happy that I get to help my friends, because you guys are my first like success stories.
Aww.
So I never get to see what happens with the babies at my job.
That's so
I
hard.
only see them for like 24, 36, sometimes 48 hours, maybe 3 days if, you know, they have a longer stay. But yeah, I'm so happy that I did this so that I can also help my friends. You know what I mean?
So aside from the lactation consultants being a little different for everybody and that playing a part in the hospital experience, what would you say are more common challenges that you see moms having, you know, aside from the lactation consultant with the process of breastfeeding?
I think one of the main things is that you don't know what your baby's doing for the first few days, because your baby doesn't know what they're doing, right? So I tell parents, you know, think about this. This is a group project, right? And your partner is 12 hours old and they're just learning how to even breathe. You know what I mean? So I think coming with expectations, like you have your certain expectations, you took the classes, you watched the videos and stuff like that, and it looks so natural and you may think it's going to be so great, it's going to be so easy, but so much has to line up for this to work for both of you. So I think just having certain expectations and your baby not meeting them can play a really big, it's hard, it's hard to accept, it's hard to get through. And then of course, your baby actually has to know how to like latch on the areola and not try to latch just on your nipple. And I think if you don't see or you don't watch the videos or you don't know what to expect, I think sometimes a lot of parents let the baby kind of get away with shallow latching, and that's a whole snowball effect, right? Because once your baby is shallow latching, now you're not stimulating your supply.
Right.
And if you're not stimulating your supply, then you know what I'm saying?
Your milk isn't going to come in, right?
Exactly. Like you're delayed on like establishing your milk supply. So I think it's a combination of things, expectations, making sure your baby's actually latching well, and then protecting your milk supply.
And I also add like how big they are, right? Because Roar was SGA, which is small for gestational age. So for a little while, she had a shallow latch, but like her little mouth, it just couldn't do anything else, honestly, I'd forgotten about that until we were talking about it, and that was tough.
It was. And I think that's why we talked about nipple shields, because we were like, maybe this will help her latch on a little bit better.
I also think that it's hard because even if we know all of the things that we should be looking for, we don't really know. It's kind of hard from our angle looking down sometimes to like see that they're doing the right things, or like their mouth is positioned in the correct way around the areola. Like I know that I struggled a lot with that. I thought I was doing it all right, and then Katherin would come and she'd say, "Yeah, no, the mouth needs to be a little bit more here, or you need to have the hamburger hold and all this stuff."
And like shove her in more. I remember with Mila, we had to like shove her in more.
And I think it was because I was nervous. I didn't know what I was doing.
It was your first time,
I was very
a baby.
And she came before you took Katherine's infamous breastfeeding class.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
I will admit that I kind of procrastinated with the breastfeeding part of the pregnancy, like prepping for breastfeeding during the pregnancy.
I think a lot of us do.
Yeah, like we think it's because we think it's going to come naturally. Right? It's like,
well, and there's just so much other stuff going on, right? That you're like, I remember we would talk about breastfeeding and you would send me resources and I'd be like, Katherin, that's a third trimester J issue.
I remember I used to send you videos.
And I never watched any of them. And the third trimester came and went. And like, thank God I had your breastfeeding class and I took another breastfeeding class. Because like I say this all the time, my biggest flex is that in the hospital, I was like, latching Rora, and the nurses were like, "Are you sure you haven't done this before?" And I was like, oh, thank you. But it's because Katherin had gotten this doll to give Lauren this doll that now belongs to Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm never giving it back. She loves it. That she had gotten to give Lauren a breastfeeding class. Mila came early.
Yes. I never got to give
Never did.
And so you brought it here. To Lauren's house,
right?
And you gave me a class when I was like 36 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, you were close.
Because we did colostrum. Yeah.
And it's crazy because I was seeing all that happen because I had already been through it with Mila. I was seeing that class happen. I wasn't pregnant at the time, but then, I got pregnant again with Layla, and in my head, I was like, I got this. I know, because Mila ended up being great.
Amazing.
Great.
Mila's my first success story.
Yes. And then when Layla came, we had a home birth, so it was that much better because Katherin literally came to my house, my bed, and helped me get comfortable, get set up. And then Katherin noticed that something wasn't really clicking right. And I was like, it's a little painful. And I think something that we strive for is that, you know, breastfeeding shouldn't be painful. It should be a painless experience.
Right.
A lot of moms don't realize that. And then Katherin realized that Layla had a lip tie and a tongue tie.
Yeah.
And my world was rocked. I was like, what?
I remember being like, okay, so I remember perfectly, you know, I was doing a suck assessment on Layla, and I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck, how do I tell Lauren that her baby has a tongue tie? You know? And I lifted her tongue. It was obvious.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if you remember, but it was very obvious.
Yeah.
And I was like so nervous to tell you. And I was like, yeah, so she has a tongue tie.
Yeah.
You know?
And it caught me off guard because my midwife missed it. Granted, I will say.
I came the first 24 hours though.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I was caught off guard because I had just had the miraculous home birth, positive experience. All my dreams came true. And then she goes, yeah, that's why she's having a hard time, right? Because for those that don't know, a lip tie,
Tongue and lip tie.
Thank you. Restrict the baby's mouth from properly like latching and sucking out and creating the supply, etc. So I was like, I took a second to accept it. Yeah. And then I was like, let's fix this shit right now. Like, what do I do?
Got on it really fast.
Katherin was like, well, it's up to you. You can have it removed or released.
And let me just say, tongue ties are very, very controversial topics. So,
they're common though.
They're very common, but very controversial. You have to advocate for your baby and for yourself a lot of the times. So, you know, just keep that in mind for all the mommies listening, because
Is it because of the release of the lip tie and tongue tie that people are against?
A lot of pediatricians have their different views about it. So you just have to like advocate if you feel like, you know,
you want to do it.
If you feel like your baby's having difficulty with latching.
The last thing I will say on this is that I got it taken care of, and Layla immediately latched, and then we had a much smoother experience.
No, like the same day. Like when you say immediate, it was immediate.
Yeah.
Before I got mastitis, but that's a story for a different day.
That was different. That was not from the tongue tie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so, you know, Lauren and I think, had very different journeys. Hard either way, right? Like, we both are like, if we ever judged moms before, because I'm gonna be honest, right? I would be like, oh my God, how could you not breastfeed your baby? Right. The girl who had never had a baby. You know, my breastfeeding journey was pretty easy. You know, aside from like the shallow latch, which wasn't a big deal. My nipple only bled once. I had an oversupply, not a huge oversupply, but an oversupply. You know, Aurora was an efficient eater. Like, it was a really easy breastfeeding journey, like a dream. And even then I was like, dang girl, how do people do this?
It's fucking hard. It's
like
really, really hard. And I'm a totally different lactation consultant than I was even with Mila, honestly, like 4.5 years ago. I practice so different now, just from being in the hospital for over 5 years now. I'm like, this shit is hard. It's really, really hard. And I would rather you prioritize your mental health now. So I focus more on that now, you know, parents prioritizing their mental health and enjoying their baby, because their babies are only so little for so long. And breastfeeding can take time. You know, babies have plenty of time to learn how to breastfeed. I tell them, your baby's not going to leave the hospital being an expert at breastfeeding. So you have to be patient with them. You have to be patient with yourself. And this can take, 4 to 6 weeks for your baby to figure this out. Because it is really hard. It's a whole new skill that your baby's learning, and that, especially if you're a first-time parent, you're learning too. So it can take some time to like really get it.
And there's so many layers to it, right? Like, as we're talking, I also forgot. And now, like, it's crazy how much you forget in those early days, right? That I was triple feeding for a little while.
You were.
I was triple feeding for a little while because of the shallow latch
Let's
thing.
explain what triple feeding is.
Well, I'm going to let the professional explain what triple feeding is.
Well, you were very, very, very lucky because you had a supply.
I had a supply.
Right away.
Yeah. So my triple feeding was a little different.
Her triple feeding was different because she would latch Rora first, and then you already had milk. So then I think Steve was supplementing, right?
Yeah. So anybody would give her a bottle of my breast milk.
Right. So then Rora would take a little bit of extra milk from the bottle, and while they were feeding Rora, you were pumping again for her next feeding. So it's 3 things: breastfeeding, supplementing with pumped milk if possible, sometimes formula, and then pumping so that you can protect your supply. Yeah. I forgot you triple fed.
Yeah, it was a little, and then you got me with that amazing lactation consultant that helped me out, and she got me out of triple feeding jail.
And I think that's why, I was like, you need to see someone outpatient too, because they can come to your house and just help you update your feeding plan, which a lot of the time you have to update your feeding plan because you never know what your baby's going to do.
Shout out to Delaney.
I know.
Man, like, shout out to Delaney.
Yeah.
I'm going to send her this episode. Like, not only did she help me tremendously in feeding, but she helped me feel more confident with so many of my parenting choices. Like, sleep wasn't going well. So, I was considering, I was co-sleeping, and I was co-sleeping not safely because I was one of those moms that was like, I'll never co-sleep, blah, 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 blah. And in the breastfeeding class I took, they talked about co-sleeping because breastfeeding is a part of co-sleeping.
Right.
And to the point where Steve and I walked out, where I was like, I'm never co-sleeping. Of course I'm not doing this. And then I was co-sleeping with Rora unsafely because sleep was so bad.
Right.
And Delaney taught me about safe co-sleeping. She helped me feel confident in that choice and was like, it's not going to be forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you'll know, like, trust yourself, you'll know. And, a big way that we parent is like with our intuition.
Right.
And she gave me the confidence to really lean into that intuition, which, is something that's like not what you guys get paid to do, but you do anyway.
Yeah. But like I said, outpatient is completely different. They look at the whole picture. I mainly look at like the first 48 hours.
Just crazy.
It's amazing that to have an outpatient lactation consultant who can come to your house and like work with you in your own environment, I'm really glad you had that.
And so one of the things she and I talked about were like cultural differences.
Okay.
Right? Like when she visits different families and different cultures and like what she sees.
Yeah.
And I think, in our culture, it's interesting because I kind of got it from both ways, right? Like I think some of us are really pro formula,
right,
which is great for many different reasons. And some of us are like really pro breast is best, right? And so my mother-in-law exclusively breastfed all 4 of her children extendedly.
Wow.
So 2 years plus. So she was a huge resource for me because that's the decision that I wanted to make, right? That's the journey I wanted to go on. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without her, right? Like she was feeding me, making sure I was getting everything that I needed, and like encouraging me and just like helping me, right? Shout out to the Ecuadorian hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah. I need to try that.
Yes, girl, I'm getting you some. That she would get, sent here all the way from Queens, New York.
Wow.
And that I would have all the time, right? And then I have like my mom breastfed me for a little bit, but then she had to go back to work. It was the like late 80s, early 90s. There were only hand pumps. She was a nanny, like she did what she could. And then I did formula after that. So my mom was supportive of anything. And I have, obviously my mother-in-law. And then I have cousins that are like, why would you ever do that?
Right.
Like, why would you ever breastfeed? Yeah. Formula is like amazing. Look at my kids. They're fine. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's such a divide sometimes. But what do you see?
So what I see in our community is that there's always an intent to breastfeed. I would say most of our community knows the benefits, and it's just like what you do as part of like you being a mom kind of thing. I think it's always expected of you, but you also have that intent, right? But I think, like you were saying, we're also very open to supplementing because we want our babies fed, right? We want to make sure they're getting enough. We'd never want to see our babies crying, and we just want to make sure they're getting enough, especially in those early days when you don't really know, because your breasts are soft, right? I always tell parents your breasts are supposed to be soft the first 3 days. When you're in that colostrum phase. So in that colostrum phase, it's hard to know how much your baby's getting. You're tracking their wet diapers, right? And you're tracking their weight change, but you're also like, I'm not going to let my baby go hungry. So I think the intent is always there. The expectation is always there that we're going to breastfeed, but we're also okay with supplementing a little bit. And that's what I see most of the time. And then they end up breastfeeding for a long time. I think it's just hard in like that beginning stage where you're just like, I don't know how much he's getting. And I mean, we're all nervous about that too. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Well, and there's so much pressure on how much weight baby loses or whatever.
How many wet diapers they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember being in the pediatrician's office, and I don't remember who it was with, to be honest.
Mila.
Was it Mila? I don't remember, but all I remember was that I think I said something like, yeah, I think she's getting enough. I'm breastfeeding. Everything's going well. Yeah. And then she said something like, well, if you want, you can supplement with formula. And I was like, why?
You're right. It was
like,
Mila for sure.
What gave you the impression that I want to consider that?
Me too, when I had an oversupply.
Yeah, like it just made no sense. So I don't know, like it's weird because I think in that situation, they think that they're trying to give us kind of a lifeline, like, hey, so you don't have so much pressure to breastfeed. Yeah. Like you can consider formula supplementing. And I kind of hate that because it's unnecessary.
It could be discouraging for a lot of parents.
Yeah.
Because you're like, so are you saying my baby's
it's not gaining
enough?
Yeah, it's not gaining enough weight.
So you're kind of sometimes making them doubt themselves.
Exactly.
And what if they're having a good journey so far, but you get told that, and then you're like, oh, so is his weight okay? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
you kind of get in your head about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and like they used to ask me, how much is she getting? And I'm like, I don't know, bro.
Like 15 minutes worth?
Yeah.
Like, does that help you?
But like Roar would feed in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
Roar was really good.
Roar was
and
so
also
great.
You had a great supply.
And I had a great supply. So they'd be like, how much is she getting? And I'm like, you tell me. Y'all told me not to buy that expensive ass scale where I would weigh her before and after because it would give me anxiety. But now you're asking me to answer a question.
Y'all being the pediatrician.
The pediatrician. Yeah, no. The pediatrician. And I'm like, but now you're asking me, I don't know. Let me spend the money on the scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and it's that's why it's good to have an outpatient lactation consultant because they can just
they have the scale.
Bring
they
the
write
scale.
it off, on their taxes.
Right.
I'm starting to feel like every pediatrician's office should have an in-house lactation consultant.
A lot of them do.
Always ask them. I always ask them.
I didn't know that.
Like,
but they have one.
They have one.
See, that goes back to that number.
I know.
We need to get that number up. But it's hard work. You deserve your flowers.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, y'all do amazing work. And, honestly, this conversation just brings a lot of light to that.
Yeah.
How complicated it is, how tricky it is, how much emotional work goes into it as well from your side, from the mom side, everyone involved. But I think we can all agree that however you need to feed your baby is best, right?
Yeah. On many levels.
On many levels.
Whatever you need to do to, one, prioritize your mental health and get your baby fed.
Yeah.
You know?
Is there anything else you want to add as your kind of call to action to all the mothers out there, expectant mommies?
What do you want them to know?
What I want you to know is that please prioritize your mental health. I can't say that enough. What breast milk is great. Breast milk is wonderful. It has all the benefits. But what your baby needs the most is a happy and healthy mom, happy, healthy parents. And you have time to teach your baby how to breastfeed. You have time to figure this out. You know, it's good to read the books and watch the videos and do all the research so you at least know what to expect and what a good latch should look like and all of that. But don't stress out. Enjoy your baby. I think that's really important. So that would be my advice. You know, don't think you're going to leave the hospital being an expert at this. It's going to take some time.
Because what is it? You read the books.
Oh, yeah. You read the books. You watched the videos, but your baby didn't. So your baby's going to do whatever they want to do.
I love that reminder.
You can't make them like just know how to do it right away.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Katherin, for being...
Wait. Last fun fact.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, last fun fact. Katherin has the best taste in music. Like, when we're around Katherin, give her the aux cord. What is on your Labor Day playlist?
My Labor playlist. So I've been working on it. A lot of Bad Bunny. A lot of like 3-6 Mafia. Because I want to get myself like
hype.
Like Project Pat. I was putting Lil Wayne on there.
Yes.
So I'm still working on it, but
I'm dead at Jocelyn saying, give her the aux cord, like a true millennial. Like,
we don't even
use Bluetooth now, okay? But with that being said, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Katherin, for
Katherin.
being here. This was awesome. We really hope all of our mommy millennials listening love this. The first of many guest episodes. Thank you so much for being our first. This is a big deal for us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
And we're going to have you back.
Yes.
Yes. We are going to have Katherin back once baby's here. So that maybe we'll give her a little bit of time, right, to get into her flow. Maybe we'll have him here.
Roll in with our equipment to the hospital and be like, so did he latch?
Yeah.
The son of a lactation.
Yes, exactly. We'll give him 3 months. How about that?
Okay. That's plenty of time.
Yeah. But yeah, we're so excited to have you back one day, and congratulations again. And we wish you all the best on your journey.
Thank you, guys.
And for our listeners, we will have some resources up.
Yeah.
We're going to work with you to get some resources up on our blog.
Yeah.
And know that, like, Lauren and I are here to serve as a resource, too. Like, we'll text Katherin on your behalf. And say, hey, a listener wants to know, blah, 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 blah. But no, in all seriousness, please use us as a resource. That's what Mom Millennials is about, and that's what we're here for.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't have all the answers.
Just a willingness to figure it out.
There we go. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Bye, Mom Millennials.
Thank you so much for listening and being a part of the Mom Millennials community. If you liked this episode, hit that follow button, connect on our socials, and don't forget to share with other mommies.
Want more? Head to our website, read our blog, grab some merch, and check out our other episodes. Until next time, bye.